Takala kuchigulima una rangaji baendela lei yako kalai. Kosentenga isei.
It was in that time when they were said the impellers they came to Kalai in 1976. 76. 76. So I was supposed to be the first person to die in that war when the emperor came. Because when these soldiers were coming, marching from Kurekuru that side, the other side of Kurekuru, coming to Kalai, I met them somewhere at Tondoro. We met there at Tondoro. We were traveling, the four of us, in one car. Then immediately when they saw, they started shooting. So they aimed at the car in order to destroy it with bullets. But luckily or miraculously, I and my friend, we escaped unharmed. So the car was destroyed by bullets. Allow me first, before we go further, can you somebody read in the book of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6 to 7? From that incident, when we survived, we escaped, and we went the other side of the river at Tondoro. That's where we lived.
Okay.
I narrated that one because that was the first whip I received from God. When we came here in Rundu, still in 1976, so I will not narrate or go into detail in everything. I will just pick points by points. We were surviving like that until when we reached in 1979. 1979, around October or September there. I traveled from here to go to Msese. During that year, that's when my son was born, Francisco, who is in Bindu. While this young boy was still a baby, and my wife was doing the business of selling nuts. That's why I decided, let me go to Msese and buy some more nuts so that my wife can start selling. That day, that's another day when I again was whipped, and that's when I got injured and the broken leg. When we reached Msese, I bought bags of nuts, brown nuts, and I put them into the car. From there, as we were driving, the car did not reach Rupara. Just around there, then the car went into the bush. So it overturned 3 times. When I fall from the car, I fall at the side and my legs were open. I saw how the car overturned and then it went to the other side. From the other side, the car turned again towards me and then hit my leg. That's when how my leg was broken.
No quería cambiar varios con el teatro.
Then it went and fall the other side again.
Damana muchacho chapita.
When I saw that that incident had passed,
Cuando ocho última que me lo tunga mucha la chimen chanti con desera quería pandicatuca.
that's when I realized nothing happened to me. Let me now stand.
Indicatu cuando to oguluwango ukase jondo pi.
When I started trying to stand up, this leg, my leg was just like a brick.
Dani se tego kukatu cuando to akasitaba.
I tried to stand up, I can't.
No que ocho ndali banja ko oguluwango kundeti. Ake patunda umdeti wachika samjande.
Then I checked on my leg, I could see the bones as they stick out of my trouser. That's when I said to myself, oh, I'm broken, or my leg is broken. In that afternoon or evening, that's when soldiers who were here in Namibia, that's when they came to the accident scene and then they picked us to bring us to Tondoro. And the next day in the morning, that's when they brought me here in this hospital. Here in Rundu Hospital, they just cut my leg up to under the knee here, and then they took me to Bindu. And in Bindu, they came again, other doctors, then they amputated again, they cut again. That is how now my leg is like this, the way how you see me. When I was in the hospital, the first days I did not think of anything. After 2 months, one day at night I start now meditating, I start thinking. I started thinking and asking myself, what does God want in my life? I started thinking and asking myself, there was an accident where soldiers were shooting at me, I did not die. Now another accident, but I did not die. What does God want in my life? That night I laid on my bed and I started weeping and I started crying bitterly. And that night passed. The next morning, there arises a spirit from my head. I started said, let me go and buy a hardcover book where I will start writing songs. But back then, I did not think of anything. I was just thinking of work. I did not think about the Sabbath. I did not think about God. I was just doing my own way. But the songs which we used to sing while we were youth, they were still there in my head. But then, while I was doing my things, I could not remember those songs again. Then when I bought the book, the hardcover book, and then I slept at night, one song arises in my mind, the song which I liked, which I used to sing. Then I woke up from my bed, I started writing. That's what I used to do all those other days which followed. When I came from the hospital, I wrote a number of those songs and I still have them in my book.
Kwenye wati epandi ya menjogola sisi ko jime. Ojongo yiri dio kuti
I want you to listen attentively because I want you to take note of this because that is why you came, for you to listen.
Kwenye ojo dafetika okulinga okupekia kanjendekange watu shapo ngokunia baba. Kanjendekange amiti twimbe.
Then I called my wife and I said, let's start singing. This ones they know whom I referring to, my first wife. My wife was wondering and asked me, when you were here, you were just doing your work, not even remembering that you were ignoring even the Sabbath, you are not going to church. Now you are calling me to come and sing with you. Then I said, time has arrived that now I have to start singing. Then we went ahead just like that. Then we started now thinking, how should we start with this work of God here in Rundu? One day in the morning, I went to the hospital. Then I met one person there who is also from Angola. He's my relative, but we didn't know each other. Then when we started asking each other of our story, from Angola, which side do you reside, where you come from? Where he stated where he's coming from is also where I came from. Then we started now going into detail about our family members and relatives. Then he said to me, he's an Adventist.
No.
Then I said, that's wonderful. Then I asked him, where are you worshiping? Then he said, no, I'm now worshiping at Jehovah's Witness. Because when I came here in Namibia, I could not find the Seventh-day Adventists, so I started worshiping with the Jehovah's Witness. Then from that day I told him, from today on you are not going to that church. So I told him, you and I will start with our families, we will start the church here. Then from that day on he stopped going to worship with Jehovah's Witness. Then as we went by him now, as he was going around, while he was going around, that's when he met now Tata Isaiah and the Moses there. This gentleman you see here, their friendship started a long time ago. They were having kind of a scholarship in this side. That cousin of mine I'm talking about, when he met them. Then he went there and said, oh, can you give me a cousin birthday? I will pay later. When he started just drinking with them, then he started also now preaching to them as well. Then one day, this man, he convinced them in such a way that one day, as where we used to worship, we just realized that he came with them. Before we could go further, this friend of us which we met we realized that he has friends who can speak the language of Afrikaans. Then he started negotiating of a place of worship with teachers who were of these schools which are around here. Then the teacher or the principal agreed that no, you can have one class where you will worship every Saturday. Then on that particular day, we realized that this gentleman came with these two gentlemen where we were worshiping. Then we worship with them some Sabbath. Then I realized that they stopped coming. Then I just came to learn that they went back to their week. So let me pause there and go back a little bit back. When I was still in the hospital, one of our cousins who also resides in Oshakati, so this cousin of mine, he wrote a letter to the pastor in Vindu and told the pastor that please go to the hospital. There's a cousin of mine who was involved in the accident and has a broken leg. Then the pastor went to the hospital, looked for me, then he found me. He asked me a question, are you Tomas Marus coming from Kavango? I said yes. Then he gave me a scripture, encouraged me and prayed for me, then he went back. He went and stayed for some days. Then he came back again. Then he brought for me a Bible which is written in Oshwambo. Then when he went back, he did not come back again. Until to the days when I was discharged from the hospital. The time when I arrived here, Pastor Amakali, who is from the north or from Bambolet, he was the first pastor to come here to meet us at the place where we were worshiping. Then he paid the visit again twice as he came again just to check on us how we were doing. And then we told him that from today on we will not come because it's very far. Then he told us that now from today we'll talk our colleagues or our members who are in Katima. They are the ones who are going to take care of you because now you have fallen under their jurisdiction. So that is now where I left. Now let's go back where I post. From that day on, these gentlemen, they went back to their work. Then they stayed for some times there. Then from the year 1982, that's when they came back from work. And as now the number was growing and the work of the Lord was going forward. When they came back, then they started looking for us and asked, where is Elder Mario Tomas, whom we left here? Then they were told that no, his house is just here.
Hatiaka, ayo jiwa.
Then they said, that's wonderful.
Noke veyo kumbanjia.
Then they come looking for me.
Ejiwe yanda balimbuka.
When they came, I also started recognizing them.
Espiritu yange yapetika kusanjuka.
Then my spirit started being joyful. Without me asking them how is their journey, how did they come. Then they told me a good news that when we left here, when we went to work, we did not also stop worshiping. Then they said where we went, we were also in the hands of somebody who also uplifted our spirit, then we went ahead. The first year, then we listened. The second year, then we had a baptismal class. Then we came that we were all baptized. It was a very joyful moment for me because I did not expected it.
Okay.
Just follow me. When I came from Rundu, this man you see here, he was having an in-law who was staying in Sauyema. He told him that the in-law told Tatekahunda that there's an elder Tomas who started your church. Do you know him? He said, no, I don't know him. One day, Sabbath morning, as we were worshiping under the tree, before we arrived at our tree of worship, we found him already under the tree with the wife. They came traveling all the way from Rupara and arriving first in the morning. Then we worshiped with them under the tree. Then in the evening they went back. They went and stayed another week. Then they came again. We worshiped with them again the next Sabbath, then they went back again. That's when we agree with him. You are traveling from far. Can you leave that place, Rupara, and come this side? And for us to be a team. From that time on, the number started increasing, and then we went ahead in the work of the Lord. Then this man gets work in Oshakati, then he went out to Oshakati, he left us. Then we had another man with the name John Kamaku. He was also with us for a while, then he went to Katima. So for me, let me end here for a while, then let me give to my colleague who will go narrate further how we started or how we were worshiping here in Kaveya.